Strong roots within the community are the goal of any nonprofit. Now, one such nonprofit within the Eloise community is Arts Ensemble. And joining us in studio to talk about programs that they have that develop strong roots is Jane Waters Thomas. Jane is the Executive Director of Arts Ensemble. How you doing, Jane?
I'm well, thanks.
And a first-timer also joining us is Beverly Kurg. Beverly is the Garden Manager for Arts Ensemble Education Foundation. How you doing, Beverly?
Just great. Thank you.
Glad to see you ladies could make it to the show today. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about what is Arts Ensemble.
Arts Ensemble is an incubator. We're an arts incubator, and so basically what that means is that we bring the arts into communities and develop arts that are needed within that community based on the needs of the community. So there's a lot of words in there that sound like need, and that is where we like to work. We like to work street level, grassroots, really developing some strategic programming that makes a difference and an impact on lives. And the program that we're talking about today doesn't look and feel like traditional arts, but environmental art is an art.
Let's talk a little bit about how you guys try to reach every member of that community, from youth to the elderly.
Absolutely. The programming that we have just within that facility, and we're a countywide agency, but just within the Eloise Community Center and the Eloise Community Arts Center, we have programming that is every age, every generation. Mondays is typically Senior Day, and all of our programming focuses heavily on our senior population, the 55 and plus. And it's everything from art, gardening, knitting, quilting, all the way through to preschool. So, preschool programming looks a little differently, obviously. We call it our START program, ST Art.
Yeah,
and,
that's cool.
Yeah, right. And that programming encompasses the same kind of things. When you bring an art center into a community such as Eloise, and you can provide things like gardening and environmental beauty, or you can provide things like dancing or urban hip-hop programming, you really touch the lives of the kids and the young at heart that are on the streets and looking for something great and creative to do.
I think the coolest thing that you do is you have the people of the neighborhood investing back into that community. They are the teachers, they are the ones that are giving the advice.
Oh, can I tell you that we learn more every day from the residents in Eloise than we could ever begin to teach them, I think. It is a blessing to be able to work with people who are so rich just in their own culture and in what they can bring to the center. It's kind of fun. We get there early. Miss Beverly gets there much earlier than I do in the garden. But it's always great when we get there and we see seniors out in the garden helping us to weed and pick and do the things in the garden. And then those same seniors, those same teenagers, those same preschoolers that are out in that garden are then inside the building in the library or in the art room doing an art class. So it's very cool.
What was it, 2-3 years ago? It was New Year's Day, and you guys were out there laying the foundation for the garden itself.
Yeah. Yeah, we were painting beauty on a huge factory.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill Rowe gave us his factory as a canvas, as a community statement to say that change was coming. In fact, there's a beautiful poem that's written on the wall of that factory still today. Kind of fun, 3 years later, we are actually opening what we thought we were going to be doing first.
Yeah.
In the mix of all of that, we opened 2 new programs in the same community. So there's just been a lot going on as this program has sort of developed. And the fun of being an arts incubator is that you may have the greatest plan, but the need is different than what you could see going in, and therefore you change the plan and develop and sort of adapt and overcome, and it's kind of that move in and make it real philosophy, only using the arts. So when we started that program at the Blueberry Packing House, it was a lot of fun. We brought 19 artists in. We did a huge wall mural painting competition and kicked everything off. Just recently, we actually were able to go in and paint over some of the artwork rather that was up. That was our initial idea, was when we opened EVAC, which is the Eloise Visual Arts Center for Teens, that we would go in and paint over some of that stuff, bring the elevation of the building down just a little bit, because we actually have people visit that facility still today from Tampa, from Orlando, from all areas of Florida, not to mention some visitors from out of country who've seen us online and swing in to look at the building. So that's kind of cool. But it's kind of getting a facelift, and we're getting ready to put some children's artwork on there.
Very cool. We look forward to seeing that. I want to talk to you, Miss Beverly. How did you find the Arts Ensemble group?
Through word of mouth. Picked up the phone one morning, said everybody's in the office by 8. And I called Jane up and told her I was interested in volunteering, working in the garden. And we met from there. We sat down, had a conversation, and it's been smooth sailing.
Talk to me about the importance. You're investing back into your own community. You're teaching. You're passing on that knowledge. Talk about the importance of that and being a part of that community that you live in.
Yeah. The importance of the community garden, it brings back communications within the community. There's somewhere positive and neutral that they can discuss ideas, trade secrets, get fresh vegetables, and they teach us a lot about what they grow back home in their different countries, and give ideas to me where I could teach them how to cultivate and grow those vegetables here in Florida. So it's a learning experience as well as they're giving to me, I'm giving back to them. And it's very rewarding because it opens the dialogue for different cultures to communicate with each other.
Let's talk about the tools that you have at hand. Out behind, you guys started off right behind the Eloise Resource Center. There was that was your first garden.
Right.
And now, have you moved that? Is there more? Where is this?
Well, we're actually right now in the process of building a small school garden for Snively Elementary, and we're sponsoring that program with Keep Winter Haven Clean and Beautiful. Our two organizations are working together to, one, build the garden. Miss Beverly is going to be planting the initial garden, but then the children of the school will be maintaining the garden with some guidance. What we try to do at Arts Ensemble overwhelmingly is partner with agencies that do like work, so that what we're providing is something very sustainable. Keep Winter Haven Clean and Beautiful has been in the gardening business, along with Keep America Beautiful, Keep Polk County Beautiful, for quite some time. And as we begin to build gardens in different communities, we'll be partnering with those agencies, meaning the Keep America Beautiful agencies that are affiliated with the region. So Snively is on track right now. We're literally in the process of building that garden. New Beginnings High School will be our next garden. And the exciting thing about doing the gardens in the school system is that, you know, right now gardening is hip and trendy. When I was 5, my grandmother was the greatest gardener on the planet.
Yeah, same way.
And so it's kind of fun to go, wow, all of a sudden the world has picked up the importance of gardening as a result of an extreme need for food, and there you go. You have to figure out what the situation is and then teach to the situation for sure. And so, yeah, we are beginning to elevate gardens. But what we're finding is that having a community garden is fabulous. Having a backyard garden is the key. And so that's how we are beginning to develop our ongoing gardens. Working in the school system is huge. It's beneficial. The education component you cannot meet any other way. But what we found at our garden, and certainly Beverly can share this as well, is that it's exciting to come to the garden because Beverly is a phenomenal gardener. And so when you come into the garden, it looks like the garden could eat you. It is so large. What we need to be able to do is teach people how to do that at their home so that it's sustainable, that it's real, that it's something that can be ongoing for as long as they need that food source at their home. One of the things that I'm very proud of with that garden and the work that Miss Beverly has done there is that we feed up to 10 families fresh vegetables, greens, tomatoes from that garden every single week. And it's a tiny garden in comparison. So if we can multiply what that can do by putting gardens in people's homes, we really are teaching children, or teaching families rather, to fish rather than fishing for them, so to speak.
Ms. Beverly, it's a proven fact that no matter what level of education, the ability to use the senses, see, taste, touch,
Yes.
when you use the senses to teach, there's the learning process is just, it's a lot easier to grasp. Talk about teaching these children, getting their hands dirty, getting their knees dirty, getting down and learning things like this.
Well, the kids, they actually love it because they get to see a seed. They learn about the different seeds, what happens when the seed goes into the ground. What we did was a project on condensation using paper towels and seeds to see how they root off so they can actually see where the food comes from, how it's developed, so they get a hands-on approach and they get to learn the background of how this seed develops over time to produce the beautiful vegetables that they see. Some of the kids are amazed that all seeds, they turn into plants. And some of those plants are either edible or they're beautiful flowers. And when they get to see that, the impact of what they see from start to finish is humongous. They remember that, they retain that information. So when they go to school, they're able to say, when we put seeds in the ground, they germinate. They're using terms like that. We put seeds in a box with the condensation and we watch the roots grow. They're able to retain that, maintain focus, and be able to carry that on through life. So what we find now is whenever they see a seed, they want to put it in the ground and they want to watch it grow. So it connects them back to nature, where they can find themselves in the process and build their confidence that if I can grow food, there's a lot of other things I can grow as well, as far as education, focus, communication. They can make decisions on what they want to grow, what they would like to see, and it's pretty amazing what the children take away from the garden.
Growing up on a farm in Ohio, my fondest memory of a child is going out, pulling carrots out, wiping them off on the pants, doing the same thing with radishes.
Yes.
That finished product, unprocessed, no chemicals,
Yes.
no preservatives. Talk about teaching the children eating habits of things that are good for them.
Well, with the garden, the one key thing that I tell them, if you pick it, you eat it. And they know that there's no chemicals. They know this is a tomato, and they can identify this is a tomato that I grew, so they want to eat it. When they can, kids typically, when they're excited about something, they want to know how it tastes. They want to know how it smells. And they get the idea, wow, we have a cherry tomato plant that is humongous and it constantly grows. So their idea is the more we harvest from this tomato, the cherry tomato plant, the more she grows, which is healthy. And it's a good snack for them. So now in terms of wanting candy and the high sugary foods, now they'll come, the first thing they want is, let's taste the cherry tomatoes, and they know which ones are ripe, which ones that they are able to eat. And it's kind of encouraged them where when they want a healthy snack, how to decide which type of snack they want to eat.
Jane, being the promoter that you are, talk about the importance of corporate and individuals, to get involved with your cause and this get back to nature and how they can do it as such.
There is just nothing more important than our sponsors, and I have to say that the reason for that is that community garden is provided completely free of cost to any person and it's not just Eloise, that's any person that comes into the garden. All of our programming at the Eloise Arts Center is provided to the residents of Eloise and Juanita free of cost. We can only do this as long as sponsors assist us in that effort. And in that assistance, what they're assisting with is a revitalization and a restoration of a community. You know, I have to stress the importance. There are some areas in our community that need quality art centers that do not look impoverished. The arts matter. It requires sponsorship in order to do it. You know, I think about things like the community garden, and the first thing that comes to mind is sponsors want to know how that connects to the arts. You haven't seen anything until you see a child sitting in the garden writing, or a child in the garden sketching, or a child in the garden doing plein air, and able to talk to them about what they're doing. So they're not only learning art, they're learning wellness as a whole concept. We know that the arts creates the next generation of problem solvers. We know that that's a fact. Creativity is what creates problem solvers. Sponsorship makes it possible to teach not only children, but also seniors and every age group all of these possibilities in their life. And so we definitely need them. If I could, I need to just thank CitraSource and Flavorama for always supporting our efforts. And we definitely need more sponsorship.
And also to add, when it comes to sponsors, Polk County Board of County Commissioners has been there behind you in support of this all the way. The vision of the commissioners is just absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. Without the support of the Board of County Commission and the commissioners and their amazing support of this vision, nothing could happen that is happening within our organization in the Eloise region. Where we are at a garden used to be a playground, and they removed the equipment, and every step of the way have just made the Arts Center possible for the residents that live there. In addition to the Board of County Commission, I want to make sure that I mention Flavorama and CitraSource, two of our benefactors who have been with us since day one in this project. They have constantly supported our efforts. They lend us tremendous advice. They share their staff resources. But where we are right now in sponsorship is at a place of having to fundraise. It's an absolute necessity. Our organization has more than tripled in its size because of need in the last 2 years. So sponsorship is definitely something we're seeking at this time.
Thank you very much for coming on and sharing the program with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I invite you at home to make sure you check this out. It's getting back to nature. It's getting your hands dirty. It's experiencing things that you should daily, and learning new things, especially about the ground and what you eat and what you put in your body. I invite you to make sure you check out Backyard Gardening, Beauty Environment Food Solutions. Now, it's a class held at the Eloise Visual Arts Center, brought to you by Arts Ensemble. You're asking yourself, what exactly is it? Well, backyard gardening is not a new concept. However, Arts Ensemble is taking it to a new level. Classes will be once a month to introduce backyard gardening to Polk residents interested in starting their own vegetable and fruit gardens at their own home. Now, if you need more information, you can give Arts Ensemble a call. That number is 863-293-2700, or look them up on the web at artsensemble.com.